All right, thank you very much, fellow Africans, and once again, welcome to our daily episodes of the Change for African campaign. Fellow Africans, being on Monday and being on the part 2 of our journey towards 100 episodes of the Change for African campaign under our 5 pillars. If you remember them: governance, potential, resources, living standards, and climate change in Africa. That is our journey for the 100 episodes, and put in mind that we have already done 50 episodes. And so, fellow Africans, welcome to our 51st episode of the Change for African campaign. We call it the second half of the Change for African campaign daily episodes. So, fellow Africans, today on our very first episode of the second half of the Change for African campaign, I'll be speaking about some of the very critical things. Actually, I've tried to be under this topic in our first half of the Change for African campaign daily episodes, and it is under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The sustainable development goals, there are 17 of them, and today I'll be dealing with goal number 16, a goal that is concerned about peace, justice, and strong institutions. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. So, fellow Africans, this is a very critical topic still globally, and so, but we are Africans, and Africa is our business, so we speak about Africa in totality. And so, fellow Africans, this is a goal that actually it has 12 targets. They are targeting some 12 areas and 23 indicators to be able to implement this goal into a functionable aspiration. These are actually aspirations and goals by 2030. They should have achieved this. They were actually adopted in 2015 under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. And some of the targets we have under this goal is reduce violence, and we have protect children from abuse. We have trafficking. We have promote the rule of law, and the other one we have strengthening global participation in global governance on matters to do with governance globally. So, speaking about peace, peace is a very crucial thing. Putting an example of Africa, we all know the current state of Africa now. Matters to do with peace, it is an issue that it is at risk or a threat, because many parts of Africa still are in very discomfort positions. Speaking about the East African region, look at DRC Congo, look at the Somali, look at South Sudan, look at Sudan itself. We still have that restlessness, among these people. We still have these problems of peace and insecurity in the region. So these are matters, speaking under the pillar of governance, these are matters that most of them, when you look at them, they do involve governance issues, and it has people that take that are actually bringing these things to actually escalate, because these people in governance positions, maybe in one way or the other, these are the people who are leading their countries, and they have, because when you look at what is triggering these wars, you realize that matters of peace, it's actually people at the helm of these countries who are trying to maybe their affiliations or how their political structures are, so they try and see that they are able to protect their political maybe their reputations in their countries, and that is when now they have to do whatever it takes to be able to protect that. And so that is when sometimes the matters of peace and insecurity arise in these regions. And then number 2, we have justice. Justice and respect to the rule of law. Justice is an issue that actually many African countries are malnourished of, or many African countries are undergoing when speaking about justice in these African countries. So we still have a problem to do with that. Speaking about justice, because justice is offered, and justice, mostly you look at the people who need justice, these are ordinary citizens of these countries, which means they're actually crying about the people in leadership, the people in governance. They cry upon these people to be able that they have been mistreated in one way or the other. So that is what you call justice, and many more examples you can give. So still there's an issue of governance that needs to be tackled. And then number 3, about the strong institutions. Strong institutions. Why do people, or why is the global, why is the globe, or why is the world concerned about strong institutions? Strong institutions are to be established to enable countries, or to enable people of these respective countries, and in this context about Africa, to be able to have a strong institution that actually they add to their prerogative, that are fair enough to be able to tackle issues that are affecting many of these citizens. So citizens want strong institutions, and that can be able to cater for them, that to make sure that actually living in a more convenient society that is fair enough to be able to cater for their needs, and their cries are able to be catered for. And therefore we need strong institutions that can be able to listen to people, that can be able to reach to people's needs, in one way or the other, and help them in solving these things. So these are issues that, and remember, these institutions are to be headed. Speaking about strong institution does not mean that having some very good infrastructure. We're not speaking about that, but we are speaking about having people in place of good values, or some good traits that can be able to be able to facilitate this. When speaking about institutions, that the matter that is brought before them, they're able to handle these matters with a lot of with a lot of care, with a lot of fairness, with a lot of justice in it, to be able to see that people are actually able to no one is actually discriminated in one way or the other. That is why we speak about strong institutions, and institution that don't mean the building, but it means the people themselves that are here, which means actually the governance that we are having in place. So speaking about governance, it is still an issue that is a broad thing, and speaking about peace, justice, and strong institutions, it is heavily on the governance side, and it's heavily on the people who are in these positions for their people, to be able to make sure that we have institutions that are reliable, institutions that can be trusted, in one way or the other, to make some sane decisions, to make firm and vibrant decisions that are fair enough, decisions that they care for everyone, and decisions that do not in one way or the other, or in any way, discriminate anyone. So fellow Africans, thank you very much for being part of this episode today, our 51st episode of the Change for African campaign. We call it the second half of the daily episode of the Change for African campaign. We want another 50 episodes to have this to 100 episodes. Thank you very much, and let's meet tomorrow as we discuss about our second pillar of the Change for African campaign, the second half. It is our second pillar, our second episode in the second half of the Change for African campaign daily episodes. So let's meet tomorrow as we dive into that matter. Thank you, God bless you, and have an interesting afternoon indeed.